All right, let's talk about a big lie we've all been sold. This idea of the lone wolf, the solo hero who conquers the world all by themselves. Today, we're going to tear that whole myth apart. Because what if I told you it's not just wrong, it's actually the very thing holding you back?
You know the drill, right? Be strong, be independent, fight your own battles. I mean, it's everywhere. It's in every action movie, every motivational quote. It's this whole narrative about the rugged individual who just powers through everything alone. And we buy into it, thinking that's the only way to be a winner.
But what if we're looking in the wrong place? What if our own stories are kind of flawed? Because when you look at nature, the real expert on survival, you see something totally different. Something that completely flips that idea on its head.
I mean, just think about it for a sec. The most powerful predators on the planet, the ones we see as these symbols of raw strength, they hunt together. So why do wolves, these absolute powerhouses, work in a pack? What's their secret sauce? And more importantly, what have we totally missed?
Okay, so that's exactly what we're going to dive into. Let's unpack the wolf pack secret. We're going to look at their playbook and figure out what makes them so ridiculously effective at what they do.
And you know what? It's not some super complicated formula. It really comes down to three basic but incredibly powerful principles. First, they divide up the work, right? Everyone has a job. Second, there's this incredible level of trust. They have to rely on each other completely. And third, and this is maybe the most important part, they all share one single goal. The mission is clear, and everyone is all in.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Look at the difference in the questions they're asking. The wolf's question is simple. How do we win? It's all about the collective. But us? Oh man, we get stuck in our own heads, don't we? We're asking, if I ask for help, does that make me weak? If I bring someone in, is my piece of the pie going to be smaller? It's all about ego and scarcity.
And that way of thinking, that's where we go wrong. This is humanity's big mistake. So let's get real about what actually happens when we try to live up to this lone hero fantasy.
Yeah, the results, they're not pretty. And I bet some of this sounds familiar. When you go it alone, you get burnout. You feel completely isolated. Your progress is just painfully slow. And you find yourself making the same dumb mistakes again and again because there's no one there to give you a different perspective. This right here says it all. A lone wolf might survive. Scrape by, make it to the next day. But a wolf pack rules. They don't just survive, they dominate. They own their territory. That is a huge difference. So, how do we apply this? This is the true blueprint for success, not just in the wild, but in business, in life, in building anything that actually matters.
Think about it. We have this romantic idea of the solo genius, the one person who changes the world. But that's just a story. The truth is, no great business, no world-changing invention was ever built by one person. Ever.
And yeah, I know what you're thinking. What about guys like Elon Musk or Steve Jobs? We hold them up as these lone geniuses, but that's the biggest misconception of all. They absolutely did not do it alone. See, their real magic wasn't just having the big idea. It was their ability to build. They built incredible systems. They built world-class teams. And get this, they made it a point to surround themselves with people who were way smarter than they were in certain areas. That's not weakness. That's genius.
Okay, so now let's turn the spotlight on you. I want to challenge you with a few questions, and I want you to be brutally honest with yourself.
First question, are you really independent? Or are you just afraid to trust someone? Afraid they'll let you down?
Next one. Do you really think you're being strong by doing it all yourself? Or do you just not know how to collaborate effectively? Is it a lack of skill, not a show of strength?
Because here's the tough truth. Sometimes being alone isn't a sign of strength at all. It's a sign of fear.
Which brings us to the choice you have to make. Are you going to be a lone wolf, or are you going to join a pack?
So let's recap the lesson from the wolves. It's pretty straightforward. 1. Stop fighting alone. 2. Choose your pack wisely. 3. Figure out your role and own it. And 4. Commit 100% to the common goal. Because here's the bottom line. Great success is always collective. Always. You can have small wins on your own, sure, but the big, world-changing stuff, that's a team sport. So if you want to grow faster, stop trying to just get stronger, start trying to unite smarter. That's the real game changer.
So I'll leave you with this. Take a look in the mirror and ask yourself, are you a lone wolf, or are you part of a powerful pack?